Our campsite was only about a 15-minute drive to the Honduras-Nicaragua border. We arrived early at the Honduras border just after 8 a.m. as we have heard that getting through the Nicaragua border might take a really long time.
Exiting Honduras was very fast and easy. It only took us about 30 minutes. But watch out at this border as there are many aggressive fixers who look like official border agents, but they're not. One insisted on trying to help me even after I told him that I didn't want or need help. They were even trying to send me to places that I didn't need to go. Entering Nicaragua was the slowest border crossing across all the borders during our drive south from Canada. There were no issues, it just takes time.
We spent a little over 3 hours at the Nicaragua border, and then we were on our way. The nice thing about this border is that there's no fixers on the Nicaragua side.
All right, so it is 12:30 and we're just rolling out of the Nicaragua border. We are home! Or our new home, I guess. Well, how far are we from our actual house?
We have driven over 9,000 kilometers, but direct from Cold Lake to here, I think we're about 5,000, maybe 6,000 kilometers.
Yeah. And currently we're like 385 kilometers from our house.
Yeah.
But we're not going straight home. We're going to hang out in the northern Nicaragua mountains for a couple of days, hang out at Somoto Canyon, and check out Esteli for some cigars and a cigar festival.
Tova packed quite a bit of food, so we're gonna hang out and camp. So Tova did an excellent job in preparing all the food for this whole journey. So
thanks, Ray. Well, now I would say like we're totally stress free. We got no more borders to get through.
Just the cops.
Just the cops. The checkpoints. But like we got the tips, the dogs in, everything's good. As advertised, the Nicaragua border is slow. So we got there early. So we got to the Honduras border, it was about 8:30-ish. We exited out of Honduras. It only took about 30 minutes, and honestly, it would have been faster. We got swindled into a helper. I would tell you, it is a little confusing when you come to these borders because there's like an official stop, and then all of a sudden people are like asking you, we need your passport, we need your license, which like they do need. And then the guy takes them, but he wasn't actually the right guy. So then I was like trying to chase him down and get them back, and then of course after the whole thing, he wanted us to pay him, and we only gave him like
100 lira, whatever the
Honduran money is.
So we gave him 200, which is equivalent to $8 Canadian.
Yeah, and honestly, he was not super helpful. He was like taking me to the wrong places, and then I was fine to talk to the people. Like, I mean, I've already went through the other borders. It's a slow border crossing there, and really I was checking everything out. Like, so he was trying to like get me to import the dogs, and I was like, no, like I already I already did that. Like, they just need to show that they're leaving Honduras. And like, even the animal control guy, he was like, no, like, she's good, and then he took me over to like another girl about the tip and saying that I needed photocopies, and she's like, no, you don't. I'm like, no, I don't. Like, my tip's canceled. Like, I'm ready to go. So they are pushy.
Well, I thought he was just an actual, like, an official that was kind of helping you around. Then I'm like, wait a minute, he's helping you way too much. Like, he's like escorting you around. He's not an official. And I'm like, okay, no, he might be, but he's not. He didn't present himself as a helper or a fixer. Yeah.
So it's challenging because like they're right there with the official people, and the official people aren't always wearing uniforms either. So lesson learned. I would ask anyone ahead of time. Now, you know, I'm not paying you. Like, I'm telling you, I'm not paying you.
No
I don't need your help. Yeah, no pagar, no ayuda. I don't need help. But then it was funny. So then we get through exiting Guatemala. We roll into Nicaragua. Of course, two guys stop us right away. We're like, okay, I don't think these are the official guys. They're just in
like Ralph Lauren shirts and
like a Nike hoodie.
We're like, they're not official. Like, they're not in uniform. They've got no badges, no nothing. But I'm like, do we stop? What do we do? And then Tove busted out the no pagar, and they're like, no pagar. No, you don't need to pay us.
Yeah. No, you don't need to pay us. And here's your customs declaration form. And then I was like, oh dang, now I feel bad. I'm like saying, no, I don't need help. I don't need to pay you.
So the official looking guy who looks like he works at the border, he was a fixer. But the unofficial looking people, they were working at the border. Yeah.
And like in Guatemala, they're fixers. They're like official fixers, and they're really just there for the trucks. There's nobody hassling you or helping you, or you're fine without it. You don't really need the help. But if they start helping you, then they're going to be insistent that you pay them. So it's a bit of a learning curve, because like I said, we went through the first couple borders, no issue, and then all of a sudden it's like, hey, this guy's helping us, and we're like, we don't really know if we need help. But it was very helpful at the El Salvador-Honduras border. That was a spot that was very helpful to use the helper. In Nicaragua, we did get fumigated and we did get inspected.
Yeah, fumigation cost nothing. And X-ray cost nothing.
Yeah.
Just an inspection was basically you emptied everything out of your vehicle. We're like, everything? They're like, everything. So
and then they went through everything.
Then they went through every single bag. What they're looking for is a drone, or gun, or binoculars.
Yes, binoculars.
So those three things, that's all they're looking for. Or massive amounts of cash, money.
Well, and of course they're looking for drugs too.
They're looking for drugs.
All right, so we're into Nicaragua. We're headed to Somoto Canyon, but we better start looking around here because I think soon we're almost there.
And to always look on the bright side of things. For the inspection, they had us empty everything out, and repack everything. I think we actually did a better job repacking the vehicle. Now it's much more organized and much more compact. I can actually see out my back window now very clearly. So it's blessing in disguise. We're packed a little better.
Yep. And I mean, okay, it took us 3 hours and 15 minutes to get through the Nicaragua border, but it didn't take us 7.
No.
So yeah. And I found they were very good there. Like, they would start processing you, and then it was like, okay, we need like 30 minutes or whatever to do whatever. They're like, you can go, and then like they would call you back when it was your turn, or like the girl started the tip, and then we had to go do the inspection, and she's like, yeah, just go, come back. And like I came back, and I got like in the back of the line, and like she called me right up front, like, you know, so you're not like butting in line. Like, they tell you, like, come up, like they'll call you up and be like, no, like I've already started hers, like. So yeah, it's good.
Yeah, they're very polite, very just basically go through their rules, and you shouldn't have a problem. It's just all it is. It's gonna take time. That's it.
It's just slow.
Their process is just slow.
Northern Nicaragua is very beautiful and worth a visit, especially if you plan to spend longer than a week in the country, as it is a few hours drive from the more popular tourist destinations. So we are we're in the dry season now of Nicaragua. So like the rain pretty much stops in December, with very little rain in December. So you can see from some of our other videos, there's a lot more brown, there's not as many leaves on the trees, and it'll get browner than this, like before it starts raining again. It usually starts raining again like April or May. And we've been in March and it's like really brown then. So we're kind of in the middle. We got a little bit of green, a little bit of brown right now.
And so far the roads are really good. I haven't really found any major holes.
Yeah.
No bumps yet. But we know that there is some.
Yeah. But by far, we haven't driven everywhere in Nicaragua. The roads are decent. But by far, El Salvador has the best roads.
Yeah? Yes.
Yeah. Of all the Latin American, Central American countries, El Salvador hands down best roads. Yes, going up to the mountain was a little bit not as great, but it still was pretty good. But yeah, and we were on a bunch of different highways in El Salvador, and they were all really good.
One thing to pay attention when driving in Nicaragua is do the speed limit, wear your seatbelt, and no alcohol. Just make sure they don't have a reason to pull you over and give you a fine. And also have a fire extinguisher on you.
Yes, fire extinguisher. Somoto Canyon is a short drive from the border, only about 30 minutes. We drove into the town of Somoto to pick up a few groceries and then found a campsite. We stopped at the Somoto Canyon Tours office and asked about camping. They showed us this place and we were sold. It cost $5 per night per person, and we stayed for 3 nights for a total of $30 US. This campsite is totally off the grid, very calm and relaxing. There's no electricity or running water, but there is a manual flush toilet which was very clean. We spent 3 amazing nights here and had the place all to ourselves, other than a few locals coming to swim in the canyon, or the property owner, Mr. Salinas, coming to tend to his fruit trees. He told us to help ourselves to fruit, and we enjoyed some fresh oranges and lemons. We swam in the canyon, read, napped, had a campfire every evening. Total relaxation. This was so nice after the hustle and bustle of traveling all the way from Canada, moving to a new location almost every night, and the stress of multiple border crossings. We enjoyed some great food, and on our last morning, I made breakfast sandwiches with some leftover pupusas as bread. OMG. We didn't do the Somoto Canyon tour this time around since we had the dogs with us. They do allow dogs on the tour and even have life jackets for them. But Tigger and Penelope can't swim, so we decided we'll come back another time for the tour, which is a mix of hiking and swimming through the canyon.
We enjoyed one last coffee by the canyon, and then we were back on the road, heading to Esteli, the cigar region of Nicaragua.
Subscribe to follow our adventures, and don't forget to hit that like button. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next amazing adventure.